In the early days of technology, computers were mostly used for simple tasks like calculations, storing data, and running basic programs. But many scientists and researchers believed that computers could one day become much smarter. They imagined machines that could learn, think, and even help humans solve complex problems. This idea was called artificial intelligence, often shortened to AI. For many years, AI was only a dream. Researchers worked on small experiments, but computers were not powerful enough, and progress was slow. Still, the dream of creating intelligent machines never disappeared. As the internet grew and computers became more powerful, interest in AI started to rise again. Companies and universities began investing more time and money into research. Many people believed that AI could change the world. It could help doctors find diseases faster, help scientists study space, and help businesses make better decisions. However, some experts also warned that powerful AI could be dangerous if it was not controlled carefully. They believed that if machines became too intelligent without proper safety rules, it could create serious problems for humanity. Around the year 2015, a group of well-known technology leaders and researchers decided to take action. They believed that AI development should benefit everyone, not just a few big companies. They wanted to build a research organization that focused on creating safe and helpful artificial intelligence. This idea led to the creation of OpenAI. The organization was founded with a bold mission: to make sure that artificial intelligence would help humanity instead of harming it. Some important figures were involved in the early days of the organization. One of them was Sam Altman, a technology entrepreneur who believed strongly in the future of AI. Another well-known supporter was Elon Musk, who had often spoken about both the power and the risks of artificial intelligence. Along with other researchers and investors, they helped start the organization with a strong vision and financial support. Their goal was not just to build powerful technology, but also to make sure that this technology was developed responsibly. In the beginning, the organization operated as a research lab focused on openness and collaboration. Many of the world's best AI scientists were invited to join the team. These researchers came from top universities and technology companies. They shared a passion for exploring how machines could learn from data and improve over time. The organization believed that sharing knowledge with the world would help AI grow in a safe and positive direction. During those early years, the team worked on different AI projects and experiments. Some focused on teaching computers how to understand language. Others worked on training machines to play complex games or recognize images. These projects helped researchers learn more about how AI systems could think and learn. Step by step, the technology improved. However, building advanced AI was not easy. The researchers faced many challenges. Training AI models required huge amounts of data and powerful computers. It also required new ideas and creative thinking. Sometimes experiments failed, and progress seemed slow. But the team continued working because they believed the future of AI was worth the effort. As time passed, the organization slowly began gaining attention in the technology world. Researchers, journalists, and tech companies started watching closely. People wanted to see whether this new organization could truly create powerful artificial intelligence while also keeping it safe for humanity. The story of the global AI race was only beginning, and the journey of OpenAI was about to become one of the most important chapters in the history of technology. As the organization continued its journey, the next important step was building a strong team. Creating advanced artificial intelligence was not something a small group could do alone. It required many talented people with different skills. Researchers who understood machine learning, engineers who could build powerful systems, and thinkers who studied the risks of AI all needed to work together. Because of this, OpenAI began searching around the world for some of the best minds in artificial intelligence. Scientists from universities, research labs, and big technology companies became interested in joining the mission. Many of these researchers believed in the same goal. They wanted to build AI that could help humanity, not harm it. This shared belief helped bring the team together. Inside the organization, people worked closely with each other, sharing ideas and experimenting with new technologies. The environment was very creative, Researchers were encouraged to ask difficult questions and test bold ideas. Sometimes these ideas worked, and sometimes they failed. But every experiment helped the team learn something new about how intelligent systems could work. During this time, OpenAI began focusing heavily on machine learning, a method that allows computers to learn from large amounts of data. Instead of programming every rule into a machine, researchers would train the system using examples. Over time, the AI could begin to recognize patterns and make decisions on its own. This approach was becoming very powerful because computers were getting faster, and the internet was providing huge amounts of data that machines could study. One of the early areas of research involved teaching computers to play complex games. Games might seem simple, but they require strategy, planning, and learning from mistakes. By training AI systems to play games, researchers could test how well machines were learning. These experiments helped the team understand how AI could improve through practice. Each game played by the computer became a lesson that helped the system grow smarter. Another major focus was teaching computers to understand human language. Human language is complicated, filled with different meanings, emotions, and expressions. For a machine, learning language was a very difficult challenge. The researchers began creating models that could read text, study patterns in words, and learn how sentences were formed. Slowly, the systems improved. They started to answer simple questions, translate languages, and even write short pieces of text. At the same time, the leadership of the organization continued guiding the mission. Sam Altman played an important role in helping the organization grow and organize its long-term plans. His leadership helped attract new talent and resources. Meanwhile, Elon Musk remained one of the early voices warning about the possible risks of uncontrolled artificial intelligence. These discussions inside and outside the organization kept reminding the team that building powerful AI also meant taking responsibility for its impact on society. The work was exciting, but it was also very challenging. Training large AI models required huge computing power, which was expensive and difficult to manage. The researchers often spent long hours testing different approaches, adjusting their models, and studying the results. Sometimes progress was slow, but every step brought new knowledge. As these projects continued, people in the technology world started paying closer attention. Other big companies were also investing heavily in artificial intelligence. A global competition was beginning to form, with many organizations racing to create the most powerful AI systems. OpenAI was now part of this growing race, and the decisions made during these years would shape the future of the company and the future of artificial intelligence itself. As the research at OpenAI continued to grow, the world outside was also changing quickly. Artificial intelligence was no longer just a small field studied by a few scientists. It was becoming one of the most important technologies in the world. Big technology companies began investing billions of dollars into AI research. Governments, universities, and private companies all wanted to develop smarter machines. This created what many people started calling the global AI race. Several large technology companies were competing to build better AI systems. Companies like Google, Microsoft, Amazon, and Meta platforms were investing huge resources into artificial intelligence. These companies had powerful computers, large teams of researchers, and access to massive amounts of data. Because of this, the competition in AI development became very intense. Every company wanted to create the most advanced systems that could change industries and shape the future. For OpenAI, this growing competition created both excitement and pressure. The organization had started as a research lab focused on openness and safety, but now it was part of a fast-moving technological race. To keep up, the team needed stronger computing power, better research tools, and more resources. Training large AI systems required thousands of powerful processors working together. The cost of running these systems was extremely high, and the organization had to find ways to support its growing needs. During this time, OpenAI began developing more advanced language models. These systems were designed to read and understand huge amounts of text from books, websites, and articles. By studying this information, the AI could learn how humans communicate. The goal was to create systems that could answer questions, write text, and assist people with many different tasks. These experiments were very complex, and each new version of the model required more data and more computing power. At the same time, OpenAI also worked on other creative AI projects. One of them focused on generating images from written descriptions. This idea fascinated many people because it allowed computers to turn simple words into detailed pictures. Another project focused on helping programmers write computer code more easily with the help of AI tools. These developments showed that artificial intelligence could be useful in many different areas of life. However, as AI systems became more powerful, concerns about safety and control also grew. Many experts worried that advanced AI could be misused or cause harm if it was not developed carefully. These concerns led to many debates inside the technology world. Some people believed progress should move faster, while others believed it should move more carefully. OpenAI tried to balance these two sides by continuing research while also studying how to make AI systems safer and more responsible. Inside the organization, leaders like Sam Altman continued guiding the company through these difficult decisions. The team understood that they were not just building technology, they were shaping something that could affect the entire world. Every breakthrough brought both excitement and new responsibilities. As the years passed, the work of OpenAI started gaining more attention from the public. Journalists, technology experts, and businesses began talking about the company's research. Many people were curious about how powerful AI could become and what it might mean for the future. The race to build the most advanced artificial intelligence was moving faster than ever, and OpenAI was now standing at the center of that global competition. As OpenAI continued its work, the organization began achieving major breakthroughs that caught the attention of the whole world. The research that once stayed inside labs was now being seen and used by millions of people. One of the most important areas of progress was in language models. These were advanced AI systems trained to understand and generate human language. Over time, these models became more powerful, more accurate, and more useful in everyday life. One of the biggest moments came with the development of the GPT series, which stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer. These models were designed to read massive amounts of text and learn patterns in language. As each new version was released, the improvements were clear. The models could write essays, answer questions, create stories, and even help people solve problems. When tools like ChatGPT were introduced to the public, people were amazed by how natural the conversations felt. It was one of the first times many people experienced talking to an AI that seemed to understand them. At the same time, OpenAI introduced other creative tools. One of them was DALL-E, which allowed users to create images just by describing them in words. This was something that had once seemed impossible. Artists, designers, and everyday users could now turn their ideas into visual images within seconds. Another important tool was Codex, which helped programmers write code more easily. These tools showed that AI could be useful not just for research, but also for creativity and productivity. As these technologies became more popular, the media started paying close attention. News outlets, social media, and tech communities were filled with discussions about OpenAI's work. Some people were excited and believed AI would make life easier and better. Others were more cautious and worried about possible risks. Questions began to appear. Could AI replace jobs? Could it be used to spread false information? Could it become too powerful to control? These discussions became part of everyday conversations. Inside OpenAI, these reactions were taken seriously. The team understood that their work was now affecting millions of people. This meant they had to think carefully about how their technology was used. Safety and responsibility became even more important. Researchers worked on improving the models while also adding safeguards to prevent harmful use. It was not always easy, because the technology was growing very fast, and new challenges appeared all the time. Leaders like Sam Altman often spoke about the importance of building AI that benefits everyone. He explained that while the technology was powerful, it should always be guided by human values. These ideas helped shape how OpenAI moved forward during this time of rapid growth. The breakthroughs achieved by OpenAI changed how people saw artificial intelligence. What was once considered a distant dream was now becoming a part of everyday life. Students used AI to learn, businesses used it to improve their work, and creators used it to express their ideas. The world was beginning to understand that AI was not just a tool of the future. It was already here, and it was changing everything. As OpenAI continued to grow and release more powerful AI systems, not everyone was comfortable with the speed of progress. Many people started asking serious questions about safety, control, and fairness. While the technology was impressive, it also brought new risks. Some experts warned that AI could be used in harmful ways, such as spreading false information, creating fake content, or replacing human jobs. These concerns created a wave of criticism and debate around the work that OpenAI and other companies were doing. One of the biggest discussions was about how OpenAI was structured as an organization. In the beginning, it was created as a nonprofit, with the goal of sharing research openly and helping everyone benefit from AI. However, as the cost of building advanced AI systems increased, the organization needed more funding. Training large models required powerful computers, which were very expensive. Because of this, OpenAI made a major decision to change its structure into what it called a capped profit model. This meant that investors could earn limited returns, while the main goal of benefiting humanity remained. This change caused mixed reactions. Some people understood that funding was necessary to continue the research. Others felt that moving away from a pure nonprofit model might affect the original mission. Critics worried that financial pressure could lead to decisions focused more on profit than safety. These concerns became part of a larger conversation about how powerful technologies should be managed in the modern world. At the same time, governments around the world began paying closer attention to artificial intelligence. Leaders started discussing whether new laws and regulations were needed. They wanted to make sure that AI systems were used responsibly and did not cause harm to society. This created another challenge for OpenAI, as it had to balance innovation with growing legal and ethical expectations. Inside the organization, these challenges were taken seriously. Leaders like Sam Altman spoke openly about the need for careful development of AI. He often explained that while the technology had great potential, it also required strong rules and guidance. The team worked on improving safety systems, reducing harmful outputs, and making the technology more reliable for users. Another challenge came from the fast pace of competition. Other companies like Google and Microsoft were also developing advanced AI systems. This created pressure to move quickly and release new products. However, moving too fast could increase risks, while moving too slowly could mean falling behind in the global race. Finding the right balance was not easy. There were also internal challenges as the organization grew larger. Managing a bigger team, handling public attention, and dealing with constant change required strong leadership and clear communication. Mistakes sometimes happened, and when they did, they were often discussed publicly because of the high level of attention on the company. Despite all these difficulties, OpenAI continued moving forward. The controversies and challenges became important lessons. They showed that building powerful AI was not just a technical problem, but also a social and ethical one. The organization learned that trust from the public was just as important as innovation. As the AI race continued, OpenAI knew that its future would depend not only on what it could build, but also on how responsibly it could build it. As OpenAI looked toward the future, it became clear that artificial intelligence was no longer just an experiment or a new invention. It had become a powerful force that was shaping the world in real time. From education to business, from healthcare to entertainment, AI was starting to play an important role in everyday life. OpenAI now stood as one of the leading organizations in this space, but the journey ahead was still full of challenges and big questions. One of the biggest goals for OpenAI was to continue improving AI systems while keeping them safe and useful for everyone. The organization believed that AI should not only be powerful, but also fair and trustworthy. This meant working on systems that could understand human needs better, avoid harmful behavior, and provide helpful results. The team continued to study how AI could align with human values, making sure that the technology would support people instead of causing problems. At the same time, the global AI race was becoming even more intense. Countries and companies around the world were investing heavily in artificial intelligence. Organizations like Google, Microsoft, Amazon, and Meta platforms continued to build their own advanced systems. This competition pushed innovation forward, but also increased the pressure to move quickly. OpenAI had to stay focused on its mission, while also keeping up with rapid changes in the industry. Another important part of the future was regulation. Governments were beginning to create rules for how AI should be developed and used. These rules were meant to protect people and ensure that AI systems were used responsibly. OpenAI needed to work closely with leaders and policymakers to help shape these regulations. It was important to find a balance where innovation could continue, but safety and fairness were not ignored. Inside the organization, leaders like Sam Altman often spoke about the long-term vision of artificial intelligence. They believed that one day AI could become even more advanced, possibly reaching a level where it could perform many tasks better than humans. This idea brought both excitement and concern. If used correctly, such technology could solve some of the world's biggest problems, like climate change, disease, and poverty. But if used poorly, it could also create serious risks. Because of this, OpenAI continued focusing on responsible development. The team worked on improving transparency, building safer systems, and educating the public about AI. They understood that trust would be very important in the future. People needed to feel confident that AI systems were working in their best interest. As the story of OpenAI continued, one thing became clear. The journey was far from over. The organization had already changed how people see artificial intelligence, but the biggest changes might still be ahead. The untold story of OpenAI is not just about technology, but about choices, responsibility, and the future of humanity. The decisions made today will shape the world of tomorrow, and OpenAI remains at the center of that powerful and ongoing story.